Hi everyone, I'm Oki Sato. I'm the founder and chief designer of a design firm called Nendo. Nendo is based in Tokyo, and we have a small space in Milan and in Singapore as well. I studied architecture at school, and in 2002, which is about 10 years ago, I went to the furniture fair in Milan, the design fair in Milan, and I noticed that design was something that makes people happy. It's something that's really exciting. And that's how we started as Nendo. And Nendo means clay in Japanese. It's more like Play-Doh, I guess. The flexibility, changing shapes and sizes and colors as you mix different colors. So that was exactly the way that I wanted to work as a designer. So for me, design is not about colors or forms or creating something that's really different, but it's about finding things, noticing small differences in everyday life, and trying to capture those small moments, then try to recreate it into something that's easier to understand and to share it with people. So it's not about making things, but it's more about observing, and it's about capturing those moments. And I really feel that those moments, those small moments of happiness or surprise, or those small emotional movements is what makes everyday life so rich and interesting. So I guess design in the end has to be something that makes people happy. I feel that it's not the final object, it's about the process more. I think process defines the quality of the object. So for instance, this is a chair that I made in, I don't remember, 2007 or something. It's a chair made of paper. It was a collaboration with the fashion designer Issey Miyake. So he has his own his brand called Pleats Please, and what it is that he has two sheets of thin paper. He puts the fabric in between and he lets it go through the machine with steam and heat, and then that's how it's pleated. And then after it's pleated, he takes the roll out and then he rips it out. So one day he gave me a phone call. He said that he wants me to make a chair using that paper because he thought it was a pity that he's throwing away all this paper. So what I did was, this is the way it's thrown away from the factory. And I tried to mix it with different materials, but it didn't work. And then what I started doing was I tried to cut one sheet of paper, tried to peel it. Then I cut again, peel it again, cut again, peeled it again. And then it became something like a chair. And I showed it to Mr. Miyake, and he said it looks like a cabbage. So that's the reason why it's called the cabbage chair. And I said that I have to finish the chair because it doesn't look comfortable, it's more like a stool. And he said, no, you don't have to finish it, it's finished. So that was quite shocking for me, because when I was studying design or architecture in school, my teachers told me to finish your project. You have to make renderings, models, you have to simulate everything, you have to finish the project. But for Mr. Miyake, he said that you have to stop when you feel it's finished. That's one of the ways that I found that process is not always the same. It's something that you have to control by stretching it or reversing it or compressing it. You can make so many different designs by controlling the process. This is the cabbage chair with the fabric inside. Or this was a cake that I designed with a Japanese patissier. And it was about it not only being served on a plate, but you're creating the cake while you're eating it. So I thought about having these different colors of chocolate pencils, like having different amounts of milk inside, and then there would be a sharpener beside it, so you can start sharpening your pencil. But the trash part becomes the part that you eat. So it's many things are going on here, but that was an idea for the chocolate cake. This was about creating a link between these picture frames and rock climbing as well. This was one of the most difficult projects that I did in the past, because we had to design these picture frames that look like picture frames, but they have to be functional. They have to work as a sport as well. This was a pop-up store that I did in Tokyo for Starbucks. What I did was I created a link between books and coffee because I felt that it's something that makes you relax, or it's something that creates your own space when you start reading or when you have a cup of coffee. So I made this big bookshelf so that people could choose a cup of coffee like you're choosing your favorite book. So I had 9 different book covers. I don't remember what it was. It was like mocha or cappuccino or latte or things like that. And then inside of the books there would be all this text and illustrations about what the coffee, what that drink is about, and they would choose. And then if you bring it to the counter, they would give you that cup of coffee together with this book cover. And then you can cut out the book cover and then you can place it inside of the tumbler, so you own your own color, I guess. But everyone, there was like a 3-hour row of people, and they were waiting for this hot cup of coffee. It was summertime, but it was really crazy. But everyone was really excited about this experience about choosing your cup of coffee like a book. When I especially work with furniture, it's about seeing things in a 2-dimensional way, starting from 2-dimensional, then folding or rolling, or doing things like maybe like a small kid would do with a piece of paper. But that helps me to make things simple, in a simple way. I think that simplicity is sometimes very interesting, because I think that design is something like information. The more simple it is, the more easier that people would understand. So that is the reason why I like to use 2-dimensional things. This is what I made last year with Coca-Cola. They wanted me to make dishes out of 100% recycled bottles, Coca-Cola bottles. So what I did was not to create new forms, but I thought that the bottom part of the bottle really represents Coca-Cola in a way. So it was like slicing the bottle, and the shape that is left is the dish itself. So this was the final form that I made. I used very thick glass, and the edges very soft, so it reminds you of the Coca-Cola bottles. And also on the bottom, I had those, I don't know how you call them, but those small bumps that are on the bottom of the bottles as well. So it reminds you when you drink Coca-Cola from the bottles, you see those small dots. And then when you see these bowls, so these are the dots, I guess. So I tried to create a link between the bottles and these dishes. So it was about magnifying a part of the bottle. So I guess that is the way I design things, and I guess that's the way I will keep on design things in the future. And the thing is, I guess, I said that I want to make people happy, but in the end I think I'm the happiest guy. I'm really excited when I design things, and I'm very proud about that. Thank you very much.